What's up guys, it's Frostbite711 and today we're back with Divinity Original Sin 2. So last we left off, we headed into the Vault of Brachus Rex, we met Trompdoy, we solved some riddles, and so here we are now, let's continue. We also fought some Void Salamanders.
Open your eyes. Time to die.
Got it. Oh, I freaking hate that guy. Damn it. You should not have done that.
Show yourself.
They really don't like Ethan right now.
As you pick up the ring, you feel a cold, dark pain shoot up your arm. Your mind itches. You don't hear, but feel a whisper in your ear. It tells you to slip the ring onto your finger.
That's plenty. Look at that wand. It hums with inner source.
You made it all this way.
He trembles and seems to shudder with a quiet sob.
I'm cursed, you know. Bloody Brachus bound me here to protect his vault. He has my soul in that jar just there. And I can't leave without it. As long as the jar stays unbroken, I can never truly die. Really? You would?
He drops to his knees before you and grabs onto your feet with both hands, head hanging.
Thank you.
See. We'll get S for Prince.
The jar before you may have looked opulent once, but no longer. Now it's covered in grime, its paint chipped away, and its jewels long stolen. The soul jar rocks slightly, light flashing from underneath its lid. On its rim, you can just barely make out the name Gratiana. As soon as you touch the jar's cracked surface, you see a vision of splendor, silks, fine food, and decadent lechery. But underneath it all lies bone and blood. The vision shifts. You see burning villages, slaughtered women and children. You see her, purging wand in hand, standing amongst it all. She throws her head back and laughter echoes in your skull. A shadow falls across her, and you see a large, weeping face. She reaches out as if to comfort, but Brachus drags her back. You see her fall into the mire of the swamp, trapped. As you pull your hand away, you can feel a deep, longing sadness in your soul. Is it regret, or just sadness for a life that used to be? The terrible vision fades.
Gratiana's life was selfish and hedonistic. No mercy.
Whatever a person may have done in life, they can always be redeemed.
However her life began, it ended well. No one should be damned because of their youth.
This jar glitters and glows. From within, you think you can make out the distant sound of laughter. With a jerk, your mind is pulled to a scene in a tavern. You see a dwarf in the center of the room, joking us all around roar with laughter. All bar the zombies, who are slavishly serving food and drink. The door opens, and a tall, beautiful woman stalks into the room. She's flanked by heavily armed guards. You can't make out her words, but see the fear in the dwarf's eyes. The dwarf mutters a word, and the undead lurch towards the intruder, but are cut down like wheat. The dwarf tries to run, pushing her friends into the woman's path, but is grabbed before she can escape. As she's dragged away to a tower, you hear her cursing Brachus Rex and his whore. Even when she's thrown inside and the door sealed, you can still hear her shouts. You pull your hand away from the jar, your head swimming. You can feel the dwarf's cold terror still twisting in your gut. The jar shatters like glass, but a spirit rises from the shards like smoke. The ghost of a dwarf, bedecked in necromancer robes, winks and blows you a kiss before slowly fading to nothing.
Beautiful. Thank you. My death waits.
The vision fades.
She must have been acting against Brachus Rex for him to have come for her like that.
Keeping the dead as slaves. What a disgusting display. She deserved every punishment she got.
Being locked in a tower was more kindness than any necromancer deserves.
Let's see, I want to see if that ruined.
The jar on the plinth before you seems ancient, but is in surprisingly good condition. It's covered in pictograms that you can't understand, but you're sure you just saw one of them move. The pictograms spin to life, and you're dragged into a dream. You see the lizards of the ancient empire turning their backs on you, casting you out into the wilderness. As you roam, the human apes turn away from you, all but one. One smiles, one opens his arms, one says he'll take you home. Brachus Rex. He promises power for a price. He picks off your golden scales, one by one, stripping you down to the bone. He promised you a crown, but all you got were shackles. You try to fight, try to reclaim what's yours, but a woman takes you by the hand and leads you to a tower. He promised he'd take me home, you cry. You are home, she smiles as she seals the door. This is where you belong. Your hand drops away from the soul jar, your skin prickling. In the back of your mind, you hear a small, scared voice whimper before fading to nothing. You see a shape emerge from the ruins of the broken jar, a lizard in the finest necromancer robes. It grudgingly nods at you as it starts to fade from the mortal realm.
Farewell to flesh. Farewell to bone. Farewell.
The long-dead lizard's visions fade.
I can't help but sympathize with him. He just wanted to go home.
No amount of loneliness excuses wickedness. He helped a monster for selfish reasons.
What he did shames his people.
The soul jar stands on its plinth, glowing softly. From within, you can almost hear the whisper of a voice. You see, or rather, you feel, a far-off land. Frozen breath hangs in the air, pine needles brush your cheeks, and in your arms you can feel a weight. A body, dead. But you have hope. Your vision swims. You're older, but perhaps not wiser. You march at the head of a shambling host, the enemies of Brachus Rex melting before you. The scene twists again. Now Brachus stands before you, a beautiful woman at his side. You lash out in treasonous rage, but cold arms bind you. You're sealed away in a tower. Your screams fill the darkness. You feel a jolt and open your eyes to see the soul jar before you, lying still in the vault. Your hand falls from the jar and grips the pillar as you try to calm your ragged breathing. A human spirit slips from the ruins of the jar. Decked in necromancer robes, she turns to you, bows, and starts to fade away to nothing.
My eternal thanks, young one. Oh, timely death.
The necromancer's memories fade to black, but the feelings remain.
They may have been a necromancer, but they did not feel evil. Misguided, perhaps.
Anyone who marches at the head of an undead host deserves whatever punishment they get.
One must wonder how many more lives they took, how much more misery the scum caused.
The soul jar rests between two fallen columns, emanating a faint odor of seaweed and timber. When you touch the glass, your vision wavers. You emerge on the prow of a fine ship. Your armor pulses with enchantment, dominating those who draw near. Your flag flies for Brachus Rex, a tyrant who traded for your soul. With his power, your flesh and blood is no longer relevant. The vision fades as the soul thrashes, trying to sever your connection. To be soulless is a horrible, empty fate. You seek out Brachus's vault, but the moment you reach the soul jar, he ensnares you. Thus imprisoned, you can only dream about what is out of reach. Your soul and that alluring armor. The vision shatters as the soul squirms away from you, curling up in the bottom of the jar. The soul jar pulses with trapped life force. The deity's head and hands are missing, severed as if by a sword. You can't tell if this was meant to be symbolic somehow, or a mere act of vandalism. As you take in its chiseled details, you have a vision. The statue comes to life and embraces you awkwardly with its broken arms. Unable to resist, you're flown away into an endless dark.
That shrine seems to have brought me here. What is this place?
Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum-dum.
The air is still and quiet in this strange place, but as you approach a mysterious figure in the distance, silence crowds your ears even more closely. The onyx eyes, three-layered crown, and feathered shoulders. You recognize her from the statues that stand tall in the desert sands. She is the goddess Zorl-Stissa, greatest of the seven. Her tail is coiled demurely around her feet, her fingers tented, their tips lightly touching. She looks at you softly, affectionately, and begins to sing.
I called a hero from the chaff. I called her here to me. I called a hero from below, and she shall set us free.
The great god steps slowly toward you, her song flourishing to a crescendo as she approaches. Her fingers remain tented. Her tail relaxes and floats gently behind her.
Hear and heed my call, my love. Your hand is mine to hold. Hear and heed my call, my love. I've secrets to unfold.
She is close to you now, her great round eyes peering affectionately into your own. She cradles your face in her hand and continues to sing.
You are mine. You are my own. Your life belongs to me. You are mine. You are my own. My champion to be.
Her eyes narrow to slits, and she steps back, looks you slowly up and down, and smiles.
Very good. You are not easily seduced, even by those you should be able to trust. I'm impressed. It seems I have chosen well.
She stands tall and proud, a great figure against the changing stonescape.
You will lead our kind back to divinity. You will ascend. You are my Godwoken. Let me show you.
Suddenly, a whirl of energy enters you. You feel it uncoil in great bands, expanding outward from your belly to the top of your head and tips of your toes. You feel perfected.
I have unlocked a great power within you. One only those like you can wield. You feel it, don't you? The rarity of this power. Its ability to create new worlds or destroy them. I bless the very water beneath your feet. Now you may wield that power for yourself. A first taste of things to come, for this is only the beginning. This is the task I lay before you. It isn't small, but it is yours to carry or to abandon. Capability is learned, so too experience. What I need is not the wisdom of experience, but the fire of potential. This I see within you, above all my many children. I hope I am not wrong. Over time, I will ask much of you, my champion. But for now, I ask little more than what you know in your heart must be done. Escape this place. Escape the grasp of those who would harm you. You matter. You above all others. Even those you may love.
Her pupils narrow.
You know as well as I that there are other forces at play in this unfortunate world of ours. Your so-called friends may be aligned to the very powers who would see us destroyed.
She gestures to the battle below, where tremendous powers clash in endless violence.
A new era is upon us. Not only does man battle man, but God battles God as well. They who prevail will set the new order. We cannot fall to the bottom. I believe in you. I handpicked you among all my beloved kin, because I trusted that you would succeed if you chose it. You will protect us. I know it.
Sibyl is pensively tracing a new name on her arm. Gilded letters in an ancient alphabet.
Sibyl. My own name. A little gift from Tirsen Dilius. Leave it to a god to be overly dramatic. Must be a celestial party game. Or maybe he wanted to teach me a lesson. If the latter, he has much to learn.
Yes. Is it an audience you desire? Indeed. Zorl-Stissa deemed you worthy of her attention, did she? That much, it seems, we have in common. But I do wonder, can a god be called a god still if they have to plead with another to assume the powers they seem to have lost? You may have no interest in semantics, but clearly you have an interest in the promises of powers that were dangled in front of you. That much I can appreciate.
The Red Prince takes on a reserved air, and you've the feeling he'd blush if such a thing could be noticed.
Secret of my soul, I said. What poppycock. Doesn't sound like me at all, not in the slightest. So drop it.
Oh, I'm unchanged from them all.
The air out here's a damn sight better than in Fort Joy, eh? Me too. A god I don't believe in told me things about myself I don't believe. Yeah. Well, what can I say? Whatever we believe, we still need to live in the here and now. So, let's get back to work.
Ifan tips his fingers to his temples and saunters ahead.
should probably change. See what staffs they have. Let's see, that's a wand. We need someone who has lore master. Does anyone have? Oh, wait. Let's give him to her by an item. I'll have to re-level people up once I get to just do a quick save.
The stone gargoyle trains glistening agate eyes upon you. Its jaws creak open, raining dust as it begins to speak.
You are not Brachus Rex. Welcome home, Master.
Huzzah!
Your inmates have long awaited your return, Your Highness. Welcome back